This question has obviously been asked across the entire sports media world this week about, is the Chiefs dynasty officially over? Um, Here's how I'll answer it. I don't know if their dynasty is over, but I do know this. This season, remember at the end of last season, Josh, going into the Super Bowl, the Chiefs were on their third straight Super Bowl, fifth time in 6 years. The conversation around Patrick Mahomes was this: oh, if they go three straight, he might be better than Tom Brady because he won three Super Bowls and Tom Brady never did. Well, you know something Tom Brady also never did in his prime when he was with the Patriots? Not lose the division and not make the playoffs.
Yeah. I think we can put the GOAT conversation to bed. Tom Brady is and most likely
Well,
will.
I mean, that's a little bit unfair too, and a little premature. I mean, what if the next 3 years Kansas City gets back to three more Super Bowls? What if they go to three straight again? I mean, so we don't know. That's why I think it's hard for this question to answer. What I do think it is the same thing Philadelphia is going for right now, which is it's just a Super Bowl hangover of it is so hard. And we talk about this a lot in basketball, right? We talked about it with the Warriors when they went on their five straight run to the NBA Finals, and the Cavs when they went to four straight. That in the regular season, it's hard to keep getting up and doing it again and again and again because at this point now, the Chiefs have played more than a season equivalent of playoff games over the past 4 or 5 years. That and Travis Kelce to me looks completely old. He needs to go with his fiance and shake it off and go live his life good somewhere else and no longer play football. And they need to reset some of their tools and they need to get better on the defense side of the ball, specifically in the secondary. And I think it has not helped Kansas City. That something that did help New England in their dynasty, and this is undeniable, for 20 straight years, the Buffalo Bills, the Miami Dolphins, and the New York Jets were complete dumpster fires. They could not get it together. The Chiefs, meanwhile, now they're having to deal with Jim Harbaugh and Justin Herbert for the next decade, and Bo Nix and Sean Payton probably for the next decade. That's not going to help your dynasty case.
No. And if the Raiders can ever get their act together, they would be a factor. But
and by the way, the other interesting thing is, and I'm going to put this comment on the screen. So, he does still have 10 years left. But my question is, I don't think he has 10 years left with Andy Reid. And how much does Andy Reid have left? Is Matt Nagy going to be the successor? What does that mean for the Chiefs culture? And listen, there is still a world. We're saying the dynasty's over. They're not even out of playoff contention yet. They could win out and get in. And if they do get in, even though we all don't like the Chiefs, aren't we all going to say, oh, yeah, they're probably going to make the Super Bowl because they're the Chiefs?
Yeah, but even if they win out, they still need help from other teams.
Well, but here's the only help they would need. If they win out, the only other thing that they would need is for the Chargers to lose at Denver. And they're in.
But Houston owns the tiebreaker over them. Jacksonville owns.
Well, Houston and Jacksonville are both going to get in. I believe that. I think we are down to the Chiefs, the Chargers, and the Bills for 2 spots. Because I think one of the wild card spots are being taken over by the AFC South. I think Houston and Jacksonville both win out.
Yeah, it's fortunate that they don't have to play each other again.
And with the Chargers, I know they won last night, but they got issues. They could lose to Dallas. They got a hard schedule. I think they're going to lose to either Dallas or Denver, and they're going to lose to Kansas City. That's my thought. And that's how the Chiefs are going to get in.
And the Chargers still have to play Houston.
And they have to play Houston. And I think that's a bad matchup for the Chargers. I think that game is in LA. I could be wrong. But I think the Texans are going to win that game. Because I don't think the Chargers, it's why I picked the Chiefs going into Sunday night, is because I believe that the Chiefs could not block the Texans' defensive line.
So what happened? So what would you say if the Chargers are able to go on the road and beat the Chiefs?
Well, if they do that, the season is over. And by that, the dynasty part one would be over. Let's put it that way.
So
New England had two parts of their dynasty. Let's not forget that. New England won a decade where they didn't reach the Super Bowl.
yeah. So to answer the second part of this question, is this just a 1-year blip on the radar? I'm gonna say
I think it's a wait and see. Is what I think it is. We need to see how they retool their roster in the draft. Because I thought Chris Jones played the best game of his career. The Texans offense could not move the ball. And Andy Reid coached recklessly on Sunday night. I know Rashid Rice dropped the pass. They should have not gone for it on the fourth down. I don't care what the analytics say in that situation. Your defense, the Texans were not moving the ball 1 inch, 1 iota down the field. The Chiefs could have won that game by backing them up and forcing the Texans to take safeties. How bad the Texans offense was moving the ball. The Chiefs gave them that gift touchdown at the end of the game to make it 17 to, I believe, 7 at that point, and that was all she wrote.
yeah, it's hard to say with the Chiefs because, yes, they still have Mahomes. I think, I agree with you. I think Travis Kelce should retire, go shake it off, create a love story with his fiance.
By the way, just a quick comment on that. I can't believe nobody's talking about this on these talk shows. He looks disinterested. He's not even running routes. The drive passes with the ball hitting him right in the hands. He looks in worse shape than Jason did, and Jason was an offensive lineman.
Yeah. But to answer the question, is the Chiefs dynasty over? It feels like it's coming to an end, but you have to stick a fork in them to officially say yes.
I mean, here's the thing. They still have Mahomes. I don't think it's going to be over. I just think it's going to be harder. And I think that the AFC is better in the quarterback race, unlike when it was when Brady was there. When Brady was there, he had to deal with Peyton Manning and maybe a little bit of Ben and maybe a little bit of Flacco, but never in his division. But Owens is dealing with Bo Nix, Justin Herbert, and who knows? What if the Raiders get the number 1 pick and pick the guy who just beat Ohio State this past weekend?
Yeah, although right now the New York Giants currently hold the number 1 pick.
And I would say the Giants will probably trade that pick because they need a lot more talent on that roster. I think this is a different conversation, obviously, but I think if the Giants or Titans get the number 1 pick, they're probably trading out of it.
Yeah, and we'll see if the Browns end up getting it. But
let's talk about the AFC South. So, in my opinion, you can completely eliminate the Colts. Phillip Rivers is a joke, okay? But the Colts are not going to win another game. It's actually making Eagles fans believe that Shane Steichen's going to get fired and he's going to come back as their offensive coordinator, which I think is a pipe dream because I don't think you can blame Shane Steichen for this collapse. Their season's over. I don't see them winning another game. I think they're going to go from 8-2 to 8-9. It's how the cookie crumbles.
Yeah, they're going to get slaughtered this Sunday in Seattle against that defense.
I mean, Phillip Rivers is starting against maybe the best defense in football. And again, he may start. I don't know. Who knows what they're doing. This season went from a season of, oh my God, we could win the Super Bowl to the season of hell in the matter of 2 weeks.
And they don't have their first round picks because, oh yeah, that's right. They traded him to the New York Jets for Sauce Gardner.
And he's hurt. And here, I do not want to blame Chris Ballard. Now, I did say at the time that they gave him too much. But you can't blame Chris Ballard for going for it. And, he gave him 2 first-round picks. He's an idiot. He should be fired. Your roster was good enough to at least win this division if Daniel Jones did not get hurt. I think we all can acknowledge that.
Yeah, and now he has a torn Achilles, and he was playing on a 1-year deal.
And he's going to be out all of next year, it sounds like. So they are screwed. I don't know what they're going to do. Maybe they try to get Mac Jones off a discount section in San Francisco, even though he might be still under contract with them. I don't know. But to answer the question on the screen, I think it's going to be believe it or not, the Houston Texans. Because I think they're going to win out, and I think that Denver will beat Jacksonville, which will wins the Texans the division.
I'm a little surprised that was the game that didn't get flexed into Sunday Night Football unless maybe Fox protected it, which very well could be the case.
I am surprised a little bit too that like even Panthers Bucks I thought was a better option at this point than Patriots Ravens, but it is Lamar and Drake May, so I get it.
Yeah, I understand it. But I actually think it is going to be the Jacksonville Jaguars who win this game. Or win this division, rather. Excuse me. I agree with you. You can rule out the Indianapolis Colts. They are using the ultimate break glass in case of an emergency. By the way, Phillip Rivers was a semifinalist for the Pro Football Hall of Fame for the class of 2026. If he steps out onto the field, he will reset that clock and will have to wait another 5 years for eligibility.
Did you hear about this story that he was coaching his son's high school football team and they were using the same offense that the Colts were using with Shane Steichen? And he's been in contact with Shane Steichen the whole season.
It's hilarious.
But he does know the offense. Like that's the one thing. Now he can't move and he hasn't been in football shape, and that first hit is going to feel bad. But what do they really have a choice? I mean, if they bring him in, they feel like they don't have a choice.
Yeah. The fact that they couldn't even coax Andrew Luck out of retirement is hilarious.
Well, there was going to be no shot of that. I mean, not at this point.
Fair. But to go back to the Jaguars and Texans, they already split the regular season series because the Texans had that crazy comeback against the Jaguars in Houston.
Which ignited this streak, and they haven't lost since.
That is true, yes. But you know what's interesting is since Travis Hunter went out, it feels like Trevor Lawrence is playing better.
For sure. And I'll tell you this, I think one of those underrated storylines of this entire season is Liam Cohen might have been the right coach for Trevor Lawrence. Trevor Lawrence is playing like the number one overall pick we all thought he could be.
And that's why I think Jacksonville is going to hang on and win this division.
Well, in order for them to win the division, they would have said, should we have to win out unless you think Houston's going to drop a game?
Which even though they have a ferocious defense, let me look at their remaining schedule because I know they have to play at the Chargers.
That's by far their toughest game.
Let me see their remaining schedule.
They have the Colts again, they have the Cardinals, and they have the Raiders.
Okay. I could see a scenario where they lose that game in LA against the Chargers because the Chargers just decide we're just going to run the ball right down your throats.
I mean, the way the Chargers are going to have to win the game is the way they won it last night, which is C.J. Stroud for 4 interceptions.
But if the Chargers run the ball or run the hell out of the ball, that keeps the Texans' offense on the sidelines.
Well, I don't know if they can. Kansas City tried with Kareem Hunt, and Kansas City hasn't been able to run the ball all year, but that Texans defensive line is good against the run, too.
Oh, I'm not trying to take credit away from the Texans' defense. Danielle Hunter and Will Anderson Jr. have been...
And they started 0-3, and the Colts started 3-0, and we all said the Colts had this division wrapped up. And by the way, we said that even going back 2 weeks ago. We said, oh, the Texans are a nice story. They're not going to catch the Colts. It shows you how fast in the week things change.
Yeah. And it's hilarious that the Tennessee Titans aren't even a factor in this conversation.
Well, no. But speaking of the Tennessee Titans, Josh, I got to tell you, okay, before I let you answer the question on the screen, everybody's going after Kevin Stefanski. Oh, my God. How could you do that? They took George Sanders out of the game. Oh, my God. Yeah, you know why? Because they said, oh, shit, we may actually win this game. We can't do that. We have to lose. And that's the old. They said, Shador, go out there, throw the worst interception we've ever seen, and then go out there and play like Brett Favre and get a rushing touchdown and throw for nearly 400 yards and bring us back. Oh, wait, you know what we're going to do? We're going to put Quinshawn Judkins in the Wildcat, and then he's going to forget that he has to pitch the ball so we can lose to the Titans, and then a chance we can get the number 1 pick in the draft.
That was one of the dumbest gadget plays I've ever seen. But to answer the question on the screen, I wish I could say yes. I really do. But we're talking about the Cleveland Browns. We're talking about Jimmy Haslam here. No. He is not safe.
Really? Because I believe him and Andrew Berry have both been told you're back. And I've been saying that for about a month. I don't think there's any world they fire them, either one of them.
I wish I could believe you, but Jimmy Haslam, I've said it once and I will continue to say it. He is our version of Jerry Jones. The only difference is he's not egotistical. Well, to a certain extent he is. But the bigger difference is he doesn't get in front of the cameras and he doesn't get on the microphone. But I fully believe he is involved in all personnel decisions. And that's it. I fully 100% believe that. I think Jimmy Haslam is the reason we drafted, and then eventually traded Baker Mayfield. I believe Jimmy Haslam is the reason we traded for number 4, the quarterback who shall not be named. And I believe that Jimmy Haslam is the reason we drafted Shador Sanders.
So they activated the quarterback that could not be named off the injury list, but they said Shador's going to start the rest of the year. So I don't know. Maybe they put him out there. I think the better Shador was, I would think the safer Stefanski's job would be. It may come down to the relationship Shador has with Stefanski. If Jimmy Haslam goes to Shador and asks him, what do you think about Stefanski? If he says yes or no, that may be the decision.
And I'll tell you this. If the Cleveland Browns end up with the number 1 pick, I don't think they should draft Mendoza.
That was going to be my next question to you. But here's the thing, right? As good as Shador Sanders would be, as a Browns fan, the typical thing that the Browns would do would be pass on Fernando Mendoza. Fernando Mendoza becomes a Super Bowl winning champion, and Shador Sanders is Kirk Cousins. I mean, that's what it will probably happen, which is why I think if you're the Browns, if you have the opportunity, I think you have to draft Mendoza. You have 2 first-round picks. One of them is going to be in the late 20s because Jacksonville is not likely to make the playoffs. But you cannot mess this up. In the next 2 years, if you don't find your franchise quarterback, there's going to be another generation of Browns fans who will be long dead before they even get close to being a Super Bowl contender.
Hey, remember when I said the Browns were going to win 6 games this season?
And remember when I LOL'd at you and said, I will bet you every bottle of Dr. Pepper that I can think of in mankind that they will not win 6 games?
Yeah. I must have been doing something.
I don't know. You taking some of those things that Aaron Rodgers takes?
Maybe. Or perhaps I just drank too much soda or something. I was completely delusional. Honestly, I'll say this. The Cleveland Browns might not win another damn game this season. Because after the Bears game, they have to come home and play the Buffalo Bills. And then after that, it's the Pittsburgh Steelers. Maybe they'll beat the Bengals in Week 18 in a completely meaningless game. Whoop-de-frickin' do. 4-13. Yay!